The heat haze of Darwin's Hidden Valley Raceway, and Paul Morris will start from pole position for this one. Points accumulated puts him to number 1 ahead of Adam Ubergang. James Abella and Brendan Pingle on row 2. Down the likes of Ben Walsh and Sam Milton. Mark Griffith and Miles Bond will start on the 5th row of the page to Kent Quinn, who won the race early, got a big bag of points to get himself inside the top 15, down to Tim Macro, who got put rear of field earlier today to Darwin Hyundai entry, 2-time Formula 3 champ in this country. Brendan Tucker and Grant Ludby down in 19th and 20th position. Over back to the 2 Western Sydney Motorsport entries of Woods and Thompsons, the 2 Craigs, then Jeff Waters and Freddie Hunt out at 24th, Alan Smith and Michael Rinkin on the next row, down to Ruth Bowler and Grant Thompson at the back of this field. They're on their formation lap now. This is round 3 of the championship, and the first one on the mainland of Australia. They'll join us a couple more times with the V8s later this year. The green flag about to be waved to the field of 31 cars. It'll be 5 seconds, the revs are up. It's been Morris and Ubergang all weekend long. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue. And race 4, it's lights out here at Hidden Valley, and Ubergang gets a better start this time than Morris. He gets a full car length. Pingle slots into 3rd position. Abella will be 4th. I think Chamberlain will be next in the Styx Darrelly entry. Let's jump on board with Pingle as he moves up to 2nd. Or Morris have enough speed to hold him on through turn 1?
Yeah, I think Morris is going to stick with
him.
Oh, God, no. Flack's around. Chamberlain's around. Let's hope they all see and miss these guys.
That would have felt like an eternity, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Seeing that whole field come down on you. Now, Chamberlain's had a really rough time this weekend. He's been off quite a few times. So normally, you know, right up there at the front running around with the lead guys, but this weekend has been a shocker for him.
Going to drop him down the points order at least, and that's spread out the first 3 as Ubergang, Morris and Pingle lead us through turn 6. Macro is already up to 9th position from the middle of the field, so expect big things from him in car number 56 as the leaders come around to turn 10, which has claimed a lot of cars this weekend. Ubergang's just got a slight margin here to head down to the final sequence of turns. Yeah, and you can see now, just with that incident with Chamberlain there at turn 1 and a couple of the guys having to take a bit of evasive action, he's just let those sort of top 3 scamper away a little bit. Abela in 4th there is just sort of trying to hang in there, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Ben Walsh in 5th. They're slipstreaming once again, and Pingle waiting till halfway down this 1.1k straight to put the moves on Morris. Is he going to go to the lead here, perhaps? Absolutely. Oh, they're 3 wide. You see Morris at the back window here. Pingle's on the curve on the inside. You might see Morris appear here. There he is. That was a phenomenal move from Pingle. He was 3rd coming onto the main straight and now leads on lap 2. A massive double toe there, and that's just allowed Abela to come there up behind the car of Ubergang, close up that gap. It's going to be a 4-way tussle starting the first, I guess, lap and a half into this. Oh, and he's up the inside already. Hasn't taken him long at all. That's James Abella, the young fella alongside Ubergang. So has Ubergang got a drama? He's just dropped away here, hasn't he? He might be just struggling. He might have set his tyre pressures a little bit low, but he's all of a sudden dropped. You know, he's 1.4 seconds, now 1.8 seconds from Pingle in 1st, a 2nd off Morris. So he's been one of the hard charges here this weekend. So let's just see if they can work together and get back to the front 2. His brother Michael's been racing in the local class here this weekend in what is usually Adam's ride, the Mazda 808. And through comes Pingle to lead us through at the end of lap number 2. That's a nice margin, nearly 7/10 of a second. You might think that's nothing. It's huge in Aussie racing cars. Absolutely. Now, Abella there on the inside of Ubergang getting the job done. Might have been a little bit better to work with Adam there down the straight, bit of bump drafting to get up onto the back of Paul Morris and to bridge that gap. If those guys start tussling too hard now, they're going to lose touch with the 2 up the front and not have a chance to win this race. 1:18.81, the fastest lap for Pingle, 1:19.6. He's 8/10 quicker than the field at the moment, saving the best to last. The gap's still 7/10 of a second. You see some of the split times at the bottom left-hand side of your screens. Lap 3 of 12 here, final race of the weekend of the Aussie Racing Car Super Series for 2015. Now just remember, after race 1, Paul Morrison, here's a replay of the start. You can see here Chamberlain on the outside in that orange Styx entry. Up on the inside, and it was Adrian Flack on the inside. Couldn't pull it up. Chamberlain coming through to try to take a bit of a line and
just tagging the left rear of his car, turning him round, and that's put them both well down the order at the back of the grid here. Bit of onboard with Pingle here. Morris on the inside, working very hard to stay on the outside. Because he is on the outside, he would have had a good run up for turn 5 on the inside. And you can see here Flack on the inside, just getting into the door there of Chamberlain.
He was a long way up, but of course Chamberlain wouldn't have seen him.
Absolutely. Would have been right in his blind spot as well, and probably didn't actually realise he was there, considering that Flack was a bit behind him coming down the straight off the start line. Now these guys have all worked together. They're all up, bunched up the top 4 now. Another spin.
A bit of a spin and win. Recovers, grabs the gear and continues on.
360 there. That was Bond, I think that was.
It was. In the 7 with the reverse livery we've seen this weekend. And that exploded further back in the field. It's Griffith we're watching now with Kent Quinn, the race winner from earlier today. It's a 4-car scrap for position 6. So they head down to turn 7 on lap 4.
We got there Miskovic and Stevenson there in the Hertz entry. Oh, we've got one across the track here. He'd made a massive move getting up from middle of the grid. That's at turn 1, stuck there, and if he can't get that moved, it's going to be a safety car.
Well, time will tell. He's right in the middle. No movement at the moment from the start-finish line as they come on through. And a safety car has been called just as they come to the line here. So waved yellows, and this is where you'll find Macro's car. And these guys are committed, and they'll realise now, no, hands out the window. That's protocol in motorsport to recognise you've seen the flags.
There's Macro's car there. The right call, because it was car sideways in the track, very dangerous position. And if you get cars coming down there at speed trying to pass each other, and if they have a drama, no, it's certainly not nice to have a car stationary in front of you. Here's a bit of a replay there.
Was this earlier on? This is when Bond... So Bond was taking evasive action here. The fact Macro was already stuck down there now. This could be a case that it's just hot out there. Will take ages to get that car restarted. Very hot temperatures inside there. And
there you go.
The Miss Moneypenny's entry of Walsh spun him around down there. The man from Noosa Heads.
A bit hard to see from that angle, mainly because, it could have been Walsh on the inside, and maybe because he was coming through and he could have been trying to outbrake him on the outside. You never know, and just locked the rears up himself. Hard to tell from that angle.